Was it difficult to get to 1,000 subscribers? Yes. The Black Fantasy Man. Welcome everyone to yet another video on the channel. So, we have hit a milestone, everyone. And that milestone is 1K subscribers. Actually, by now it is a little more than 1,000 subscribers. We actually hit 1K a little over a week ago, but you know, I couldn't make a video about it at the time, but I'm doing so now. Mind-blowing, people. Mind-blowing. I want to thank all of my subscribers, thank all of you who've been with me from the beginning, and thanks to all the new subscribers, thanks to everyone. This channel is growing as was and is the original intent, and you guys are making that happen, so thank you, and by all means continue to watch, continue to subscribe, and tell your friends. So for this momentous occasion, I wanted to do something a little different, and what I decided a little different was to kind of shoot a Q&A video about me, the Black Fantasy Man. Not a book Q&A, just a personal Q&A, from me to you. Answering some questions that I've gotten, some of the more reoccurring questions that I keep getting. So, thought I'd compile some of those. And why? Because you guys want to know stuff about me, don't you? Don't you? Don't you? Let's start. What is my favorite book and or book series? The Hobbit. The Hobbit is my favorite single kind of standalone, even though it's not strictly standalone, but singular novel. That's my favorite book of all time, The Hobbit. I remember when I first read it, I was 12, 14, probably 12, somewhere around there. I remember when I first read the story and actually absorbed it, and it was so amazing. It was so fun and lighthearted, but at the same time so deep and, dare I say, even profound. Certainly for me, it shaped so much of my views on fantasy in general, and what kind of world I wanted to create, the kind of feel I wanted for a fantasy novel. I loved how the story was told. I loved the easygoing nature of it sometimes, and then the heavier nature of it. I liked that sometimes Tolkien would talk to you, the reader, through the writing. I liked that the expressions that they would use, the songs and poems interspersed throughout, because they got different in The Lord of the Rings. They're a little heavier in The Lord of the Rings, but in The Hobbit they were, more lighthearted, you know what I mean? And speaking of Lord of the Rings, going right on into the other part of the question, my favorite book series, it would have to be The Lord of the Rings, hands down. It's the continuation of The Hobbit properly, and the adventure, the grandness, the care that Tolkien took to tell the story, and how he told it, and all the characters. The book is full of characters. There are so many characters in The Lord of the Rings, and they all work, they all have a purpose, function. All the main ones have an arc of some kind. The story is deep, it is well told, it's meaningful, it's a true version of good versus evil, but it's not just the good guys all win, or it's all handed on a silver platter, or it's lame or something. No, the time was taken to craft an amazing tale, and I like the poems, I like the songs in there. I know some people be hating. Ho, Tom Bombadil, Tom Bombadillo. But to me, that just fully fleshed out the world even more. There are very few things that I can or will say this about, but there is no fault in Lord of the Rings books for me. Stellar. What is something that I think is gross? Smelly feet, unwashed armpits, wet newspapers, litter boxes that are not cleaned, wet dogs that shake off all of the wetness and dirtiness that they bring from outside inside all over the place, lima beans, swine flu, and stories and jokes that are told in very bad taste. Like, very bad taste. I'm talking about not only ill-timed, but ill-conceived, ill-spoken, and ill-delivered. Where do you live? Well, I inhabit the realms just east of the Southern Kingdom. So if you take the main highway, the King's Highway as it turns out, about 300 miles in that direction, you will come to the lane that leads to my abode. But for those of you who want a modern answer, I currently reside in the Midwest of the beautiful USA. Lots of wildlife, real diverse terrain, interesting people, interesting things to do as well. Very good for creativity and inspiration. I would like to visit the north somewhere. What would that be? Northwest. Kind of the west coast, but north, and not even the coast. I would like to visit those places one day. But yes, that's where I live. Who are my favorite authors? Well, J.R.R. Tolkien, of course, takes the top spot of authors that I read, that I really like. Tony Abbott, he wrote the Secrets of Droon series, one of my favorite book series also of all time. C.S. Lewis, the Chronicles of Narnia, also among my favorites. H.G. Wells, which may surprise some of you, but he is also one of my favorite authors of all time. War of the Worlds remains definitely among my top 10 books of all time. And this may also surprise some of you, Jules Verne. Another question I get, and this has been, one of the more recent occurring questions, is being a YouTuber and an author, or being an author plus a YouTuber, that would be a better way to phrase it, is that difficult? And the answer is unhesitatingly yes. Yes. It is quite difficult. There are many time constraints. There's a lot of effort that goes into doing both of these things. Being an author on its own is difficult and challenging enough. Being a YouTuber on its own is difficult and challenging enough. There are schedules that you have to keep. There is an output that you have to keep. And look, sometimes you just can't meet that because there are other things that life demands from you. Okay, there are other attentions that you are required to give. There are things that you have to do that can't be put aside for another day or rescheduled how you would like. And those things have to be taken care of, YouTuber, author, or not. And from a creation standpoint, when you're an author, you are creating stories. You're creating a bunch of characters, an adventure for them to go on, something for them to complete / defeat. And you've got to come up with dialogue and personalities and maps and all these things. And as a YouTuber, you are creating as well. You have constantly got to put out new content. You have to make sure that your content is fresh and engaging and that you are giving back to the people that have taken the time to subscribe to you. Just like with writing, you can't just throw out anything. No, you have to throw out something that is worth your audience's time because they subscribe to you. They took the time to subscribe to you and give you their time. They take a lot. Doing those two things take a lot of effort, a lot of time, a lot of sacrifice, and they take a lot out of the individual. So it is definitely difficult. Now, it is also definitely worth it. For instance, I'm getting these questions and I'm communicating with my audience and readers. It's quite rewarding when I can communicate with you guys and I see the channel growing and people watching. That's a great feeling. So it's definitely worth it. But it's very difficult. I would say to any author trying to do that, just make sure that if you're going to do it and do it regularly, that it's going to be very challenging. One question I receive more often than any of the other questions that are in this video is not related to writing or YouTubing at all. And that question is simply, are you from Jamaica? No. Do you have a love interest? And here's one that I've actually been asked very recently. And that is, was it difficult to get to 1,000 subscribers? Yes, it took time, it took a lot of effort, and it's ongoing. Because as anyone who's been doing YouTube for any amount of time knows, subscriber count fluctuates all the time. Sometimes it goes up, and sometimes it goes down. Especially if you don't post for long periods of time, your subscriber count drops. So the work is still ongoing. We reached 1,000 subscribers, but we are still working to keep 1,000 subscribers and move past 1,000 subscribers. One thing I'm going to say, and I'm not going to throw shade on any specific YouTuber, but I've seen plenty of videos where YouTubers will tell their followers, "Oh, it's so easy to get to 1,000 subscribers. Oh, it's you. Don't worry. Just post, and it'll just happen. Okay, it'll happen. Just make content. It'll happen." And obviously, for some people, that does happen. You know, the algorithm or luck or just they do a really good hit that gets traction. That is not the case for 95% of people that try to do anything on YouTube. It's one of those things I find kind of disingenuous when people say that to their followers. And I'd like to clarify, some people, not all people, because, for instance, some people that are saying it to their followers, that was their experience, and they're not being malicious or misleading about it. It's just that that's the experience that they had, and they want to share that with their followers because that's what happened for them. So in their mind, that's what could happen or should happen for any one of their followers. But I have not found that to be the case with me. And many other YouTubers will echo that sentiment. It's not easy to get 1,000 subscribers. It's not easy to get 100 subscribers. Ask any small YouTuber who's been YouTubing for a year who has 250 subscribers or 500 subscribers and ask them, "Hey, how hard was it to get those subscribers?" And they will tell you it was like pulling teeth. Fresh teeth, not bad cavity-ridden teeth. It doesn't just take time, effort, and good quality content. It takes being clever, being smart, being willing to fail, get back up, fail, get back up, fail, get back up, and fail again. It takes having a thick skin. It takes money. People will say, "Oh, you don't need money for YouTube. You don't need it." Yes, you do. Yes, you do. How are you going to get a camera? Well, you know, you can use your smartphone. How did you get the smartphone? Well, you don't need great lighting. You know, if you just have a lamp or something. Okay, well, where did the lamp come from? Just get a little $20, $30 lavalier microphone off of Amazon. Does everyone have an extra $20 or $30? Not everyone has an extra $20, $30. So, yeah, it does take money. It takes time, effort, willingness to fail and fall and get back up again. But it also takes money. And there are other factors. I'm not going to turn this into a how-to YouTube video. But it is a hard, long road that is ongoing. And if you want to make it to the end or even make it somewhere, because you might not come to the end, if you make it somewhere, if you want to make it somewhere, then you have to be willing to put up and put in all these things. I've been doing YouTube now for almost a year, not quite a year, and I've just now hit 1,000 subscribers. And it was a long road to get there. Now, some people hit 1,000 subscribers within a month, 3 months, a week, okay? It just depends on you and your channel and your content and luck, okay? But as far as YouTube goes, my 1,000 subscribers is actually a big milestone. Reaching that in 1 year, that's big news because it doesn't just happen. And that's a message that I would like to give to any of you guys thinking about starting a YouTube channel, that it doesn't just happen. It's hard and long. And there you have that. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, big thank you to all of my subscribers, old and new. Please share this video around, give it a thumbs up, and let's push on to 2,000. Let's push to the next 1,000 because it's quite attainable, and we're gonna do it. And remember, you're only limited in what you can achieve by whatever you tell yourself you can't achieve. Until the next video.